Coming up on Famous, Screen Actors Guild Awards nominated actress Lindsay Lohan.
I feel really blessed and I'm having a great time, so I couldn't wish for anything else.
She's known as a Hollywood wild child, and her antics are tabloid fodder. But Lindsay Lohan also earned a reputation as a talented actress. She started on the Disney roster, then worked with legendary directors Robert Altman and Gary Marshall. Now in her 20s, she's made more than a dozen movies and transitioned from child star to more mature roles. She likes multi-dimensional characters.
It's more fun for me to try stuff like that than challenging in a way.
Lohan's co-stars recognize her talent.
She really brings a lot of heart to the character. I think that's really important.
She's a good little actress. Really she was a lot of fun to hang around.
Lindsay was totally a blast to work with.
Lohan became a household name at age 12. Since then, her personal life has received more attention than her work. According to film historian Pete Hammond, she's become famous for being famous.
Lindsay Lohan is the tabloid queen of the moment, and a lot of it isn't her fault. A lot of it isn't. These people are chasing her night and day. They're actually trying to put her in situations that will create more headlines and that sort of thing. So you have to feel sorry for her to a degree. On the other hand, you have to want to like shake her and say, come on out of it. Just like go do these movies, go do this acting, be serious about your career, because what a career she can have. What a career she's already had.
She was born Lindsay D. Lohan on July 2nd, 1986 in New York, New York, to Michael and Dina Lohan.
My mom was a rockette and dancer and stuff, and my dad used to be in the business.
Lindsay began her career at age 3, acting in commercials and on the soap opera Another World. Her mother became her manager.
I confide in my mom. I tell her everything, but then sometimes I tell her too much, and then she's like, well, I know what you do, so I don't want you doing this, because aren't you going to do this, this, and this? And I'm like, no. So, but I think it's so much more important to be open with your mom, because my mom's been there before, and she knows what I'm doing, so why lie? She knows I'll be lying.
Lohan's first movie, The Parent Trap, co-starring Dennis Quaid, Elaine Hendricks, and Natasha Richardson, is a remake of a 1961 Disney classic.
I had known of the name and everything, and I hadn't actually seen it, but all my friends had seen it and known of it, so I wanted to get the idea of what it was about, so I did watch it.
It's a modern day story. It's been updated from the version of the 60s, but it is basically still a divorced kid's fantasy about putting his parents back together, and I think that relates to a lot of people.
Dad, what's Meredith doing here?
Your mother invited her.
What? I personally like that the kids get to go on the adventure instead of the parents, and the kids kind of take charge, so that's good.
The Parent Trap is a family comedy about twins separated at birth when their parents divorce. Director Nancy Myers chose Lindsay for the dual role of the twins and personally gave her the news.
I was really excited. I started jumping up and down on the bed, and I called everyone I knew, so I was pretty excited.
There's a lot of children that want to be movie stars. I had no idea how many little actresses there were who actually, none of them could really act. In my experience, I found them all I don't know why they have agents and 8x10 glossies, but they do, and they all would perform the scenes like they were in a commercial or a sitcom, and I was just thinking, if I had to have this kind of performance all through the movie, it's not going to happen. The audience isn't going to go for it. It was nerve-wracking.
Lohan was a last-minute discovery.
About a month before we started shooting, I got a videotape from New York with a bunch of kids on it, and Lindsay was on it. And there was something about the way she said the lines that I actually heard them. It's the only way I can describe it when people say, well, how'd you find her? I heard what she was saying.
Why the sudden curiosity about your dad,
Well, maybe because he's never mentioned, and you can't limit it for wondering. Mother, you can't avoid the subject. Brother, at least tell me what he was like.
Okay.
One of Lindsay's characters lives in London, so she learned to speak with an English accent.
It had to be very perfect, because Annie was a very proper British accent, so I had a dialect coach help me out. But it wasn't that hard. It came pretty easily.
Lindsay acted opposite a body double who was replaced by Lohan on screen.
I would do one character, and then I would switch over, but while I did that first character, they would be recording my voice. Then when I went and I did the other character, they had this little thing looking like a hearing aid, and it was called an earwig, and I would put it in my ear, and I would hear my voice and work off my voice.
It's
interesting. Neither one of our parents ever got remarried again.
Playing two leads in a major motion picture required skill and talent.
She's got so much poise and presence. It's her first thing, really basically her first thing that she's ever done. It was amazing.
I did feel very protective of her, and I felt that because this was her first movie, I wanted her to learn the right habits, and sometimes I was the boring person who would rain on her parade a bit, tell her when she needed to be quiet when other people were working and stuff like that. It's a huge thing for a kid to do, and she handled it very well.
Lindsay's great. She's 12 going on 40. She's like a kid one second and then a true professional the next, and she's a tremendous talent as well.
He's an American,
No kidding. So, was it love at first sight?
Parent Trap's a great role for a young actress because it's two roles. They're on screen almost the entire time, and it really does take acting chops.
At age 12, Lindsay attended her first premiere and talked about her two characters, the American Hallie and British Annie.
I'm personally more like Hallie, and I did favor her a little bit, but I like both characters. Hallie's more like spunky and like into more stuff that I'm like and everything, and Annie's more proper.
Lohan won a Young Artist Award for The Parent Trap. The movie was a box office success. Then Lindsay took 2 years off. She returned in Disney made-for-TV movies and a short-lived Bette Midler television series. Next, a 17-year-old Lindsay co-starred with Jamie Lee Curtis in the Disney remake of a Jodie Foster movie, Freaky Friday.
I'd seen the original, and then I saw it again when I read the script for this. And I was very interested. I was like, do something Jodie Foster's done? Why not? It was kind of nerve-wracking though, because I wanted to pull it off. You know what I mean? I didn't want to just. That's a serious thing.